Hello everyone. This is my last presentation, and for the last presentation, the first uh, topic is on the physical activity and the health promotion. My name is Joseph. So this is some objectives of my presentation. So for the introduction, physical activity is defined as bodily movement produced by the skeletal muscles that results in expenditure of energy and includes occupational, leisure time, and routine daily activities. Light physical activity are those carried out in the course of everyday life that contribute to the energy expenditure, such as climbing the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Health benefits of the physical activity. The health benefits of the physical activity can be seen in all ages and all ethnic and racial groups. Scientific evidence documents the role of the physical activity in reducing the risk of the premature death, managing chronic health problems, improving the cardiorespiratory and the metabolic health, decreasing the risk of overweight and obesity, preserving bone, joint, and health, and muscle health. So potential risk of physical activity. Moderate intensity physical activity is associated with a very low risk for adverse events. An overly aggressive approach to the physical activity may exaggerate existing health conditions and put individuals, particularly older adults, at risk for untoward effects. Proper warm-up and cool-down is important for any physical activities. So genetics, environment, and physical activity. The interaction between genetics and the environment and their contribution to the health has become a priority area of the research. In a gene-environment interaction, the magnitude and the direction of the effect that a genetic variant has on the phenotype varies as the environment changes. Prescribing physical activity to achieve health benefits. To achieve health benefits, medium and high level of the regular physical activity are essential. Health-enhancing physical activity is activity that produces health benefit. This is some examples and standard, low level, medium level, and high level of physical activities. So advanced practice nurses routinely counsel their clients about physical activity and may be involved in the determining exercise prescription and an active lifestyle model. Promoting physical activity across the lifespan. Interest in lifespan patterns of physical activity has been increased by the realization that many risk factors for cardiovascular disease, including obesity, high blood pressure, and elevated cholesterol, are evident in the early childhood. Patterns of physical activity that begin early in life are likely to persist over time. Gender and the type of physical activity influence motivation for exercise should be considered in the planning program during the adolescence. Promoting physical activity in children and adolescents. Regular physical activity has many immediate and long-term health benefits for children and adolescents. However, a significant number of the children and the adolescents do not participate in the level of regular activity needed to achieve health benefit. The long-term goal of the physical activity research among youth is to design age, gender, and culturally appropriate interventions to promote a lifelong physical activity. Physical activity and gender. Gender differences are seen starting in adolescence. Boys report greater physical activity than girls in the preteen years and have been shown to increase their level of physical activity until about 11 years of age, plateau, and then decrease beginning about 13 years of age. Girls adolescents increase their activity until 12 or 13 years and then decrease, similar to boys. Gender-specific factors are associated with the decline. Research has consistently documented similar determinants and suggests that intervention should be implemented before the anticipated decline. Implementing guidelines for physical activity, a minimum of 60 minutes or more of a moderate or vigorous physical activity every day is recommended for adolescents and children. Children and adolescents should participate in the vigorous intensity activity at least 3 days per week. 3 types of activity are important: aerobic, muscle strengthening, and bone strengthening activities. Promoting physical activity in families. Family-based activities are important in promoting a healthy lifestyle in children and adolescents. Parents' lifestyles influence adolescents' risk of developing active or inactive lifestyles as young adults. Family-based programs encourage parents to change their behaviors, and to be active with their children in relationship building experience. Promoting physical activity in schools. So schools play a major role in promoting involvement of children in the recreational activity that can enjoy for a lifetime. By promoting physical activity on a daily basis, teaching the personal value of the regular activity, and encouraging continuing involvement in the moderate and vigorous activity both at school and home, school contribute to the goal of active generation. Promoting physical activity in adults and older adults. Cardiovascular disease, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and cancer are the leading cause of illness, disability, and death among Americans, and the most costly and preventable. Physical inactivity has consistently been shown to be associated with the risk of developing the major chronic diseases. Physical activity in older adults protects against the loss of mobility and increased functional independence through improved muscle mass, increased bone density, and cardiovascular fitness. Gender and physical activity. Evidence indicate that physical activity plays a role in the primary prevention of the cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and some cancer in women as well as in men. However, women report less leisure time physical activity than do men does, as they spend more time in paid and unpaid working roles. Implementing physical activity guidelines. The 2000 guidelines recommend that adults under age 65 years need to participate in at least 150 minutes each week of the moderate intensity aerobic endurance activity or 75 minutes of the vigorous intensity physical activity each week in order to obtain substantial benefits for lowering one's risk of heart disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, and depression. Structured program has been successful with both adults and older adults. Promoting physical activity in the worksite. An increasingly sedentary workplace, an aging workforce, and a rising rate of preventable chronic diseases make health promotion workplace program a priority. Health promotion programs in working settings are thought to help employees stay healthy, satisfied, and productive. Promoting physical activities in persons with disabilities. Physical inactivity is particularly prevalent in persons with disabilities. Physical activity can improve functional capacity, reduce secondary conditions such as obesity, hypertension, and pressure sores, provide opportunity for leisure enjoyment, and improve the overall quality of life for persons with disabilities. The aim of the physical activity in this population is to emphasize the importance of the carrying out the daily activities with a minimum of assistance. Interventions in the community to promote physical activities. Intervention in the community to promote physical activity takes place in schools, worksites, churches, and other community organizations, and this reach large groups and then do one-on-one interventions. The whole community approaches include the social marketing through the local mass media, other community strategies to raise awareness, individual counseling, engaging voluntary and non-government agencies, working in specific settings such as work sites and schools, environmental change strategies. Changing the built environment to promote physical activity. Physical activity is considered the most place-dependent health behavior. Places hinder or facilitate physical activity on the basis of the presence or absence of supportive infrastructure. The research supports the lead to design activity-friendly community to provide opportunities and facilities for families and their children to participate in leisure time physical activity. Design physical activity intervention for diverse populations. People of the color and lower socioeconomic status reports the lowest levels of regular physical activity and are most vulnerable to chronic conditions such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes. Physical activity programs should be built into the cultural practices of the community. The program should blend it into community activities without changing social norms and community values. Consideration for practice to promote the physical activities. Nurses must be positive role models and engaging in healthy behaviors themselves. Inactive and sedentary people need to rethink the definition of the exercise and building movement into the both work and leisure behavior. Within any given age, gender, and culture group, nurses should start by assessing the client's level of physical activity. Counseling should assist children and adolescents to select activities they enjoy and not focus solely on the competitive sports. Adult clients should be asked about their physical activity habits at work, at home, and during leisure time to determine if these activities are sufficient to confer health benefits. Opportunity in physical activity research. More research is needed to better understand how to tailor exercise program to the needs of the diverse populations. Particular focus should be placed on the developing and testing intervention that help very young children accept the physical activity as enjoyable and rewarding. Intervention to prevent the decreasing physical activity during adolescence also needs further study. Focusing on the development of the healthy behaviors rather than behavior changes is critical. After behavior are established in youth, they are highly resistant to change. So this is my reference, and if you have any question about the physical activity and the health promotion, you can leave your comment. Any comment is welcomed. And thank you for your time. Have a very good weekend. Thank you.